Okay, if you're seeing my face for the very first time, I want to use this medium to say a special thank you for choosing to just click on my video while it pop up. Thank you for at least giving me a chance to air myself, to express myself. Maybe I'll be able to convince you. I think I've tried. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Click on the like buttons and on the notification bell icon. Also, you can share to people. Why? Because what I do here is I share content that would help you migrate abroad, particularly if you are considering coming to Malta through study route. This information, most of the information I have on my channel will be very helpful because I go really deep into details, more like step by step, like taking your hand, like from beginner guy, scratch to finish. In fact, if you watch most of my videos, you might not even need me for anything, or you might not even want to contact anybody for any kind of assistance because it's as if I'm just opening everything, like exposing the whole trick to you. And I really find it, interesting to do because I just like to share. If you can go through all the things I say and you are getting the result, fine. It's a joy for me that you're watching my videos and you are getting things out of it, at least. Now, this video is kind of interesting because I want to just highlight and tell you some countries and that you can consider. I'm not talking about Malta generally, Malta alone here. I'm looking at countries that if you say, okay, investing in studies abroad, like investing in trying to go study abroad takes a lot of resources. It involves a lot of commitment, huge commitment. It take a lot of money out of you. So if you want a situation where considering the kind of amount you're going to spend, which is going to be high, and you want some levels of assurance that is also as high, matching up with the money you are putting in. Then let's talk about these countries I know for my own end, from my point of view, opinion, I would say they have about 90% visa approval rate. I'm just saying it. This is based on my own opinion. Once again, disclaimer. These are personal opinion from some things, personal experience or research and the things we've done for people who've migrated to Canada or UK, Republic of Ireland, Malta. These are putting all these things together collectively. I would come up with something to tell you. So it does not mean you should hold that and say, I'm giving it to you like more of a guarantee or a collateral to say it's because I said so, so it's a must do. Eh, it's not a professional advice. You can reach out to me for one-on-one consultation in case you want me to just guide you and tell you based on what you explain to me as your capacity. I can tell you what I believe you can do. Those are just like advisory roles, guidance, and consultation. So with just a little token. It's not about the money, it's about to define your seriousness. Okay? That aside, if you want that, reach out to me through my email, then tell me if you want my contact number and we'll do that. Talk now, come back to this. These countries, the reason why their visa approval rate it's this high is because of the things they put in place and the policy or how they go about their visa process or procedure system, their visa systems and application generally. These are why they're kind of high. Now, number one of them is don't say I'm putting it the way I mentioned it is how that does not define the levels of the hierarchy or levels of importance. This is just the way I listed them out. So pardon me is again once again if you see me look down, I'm kind of mentioning them from my laptop the way I listed them out. So from my end here, number one, I mentioned Belgium. Belgium. The reason why I mentioned Belgium, if you've watched different videos from people who've been talking about Belgium proof of fund, mind you, most of my video I try to avoid going into full details about proof of fund because it's not going to help you if I start telling you it's as if I'm exposing to an immigration officer that you don't have the money. So I want to teach you how to have the money. No. So I'm not going to full details about proof of fund. I'll only define proof of funds and tell you proof of fund you need. Now, Belgium, if you watch so many people that have talked about videos, they have done their videos on study route to Belgium, you would have come across them mentioning three key ways to show your financial capacity. The first one, they talked about a blocked account. The second one, they talked about sponsorship for someone who's a close relative in Belgium. And the third one, it is of recent, I started seeing one or two person mentioning if your sponsor is not in Belgium, if they are here in Nigeria, you can still show, they can still sponsor you while they are in your home country, provided you should put into consideration the numbers of other people depending on them. That will determine the amount of money they will show, because they will have to cut for the allowance of those one would be considered put aside then before what will be available for you. If you would ask me, if I would say, okay, what do you think, Joseph? From my end, that angle cannot be strong enough. I won't see that strong enough, because if Belgium is known for what Belgium is known for in terms of students and the means of financial defense, that angle not strong enough to. The two key that are strong enough is the prove your sponsor being there to show they are ready to welcome you and support you financially, and the block account. Now, why I said Belgium would have higher percentage of visa approval rate if you use that block account section. 90 to 95% of the time, any schools or countries that introduce that angle, the visa is more or less like guarantee, because 80 something percent of the reason visas are getting refused is the in unable to, that's your inability to defend that the money you claim you have, you actually have it. It is probably because you want to bring the money to the country, which is going to be more of revenue generation as part of an investment to support or build, to support these schools and how they also generate resources. And then you are giving them document that seems not to be true by definition, but having a different facial value. So 80% of visa refusal is they are not convinced. It's like you want to come in, you want to come and play, collect from Peter to rob or whatever. That's why 80% of refusals are indirectly tied to your inability to defend your financial strength. So any country that introduced that and it's okay, if you say you have this money, yeah, bring and let me see am, and you show them they have it already waiting for you there. Those kind of visas are more or less like if you get a refusal, it might be there are some other misleading documents you've presented one way or the other. There are some things you said that are not true, or village people. Forgive me for that. That's just it. So it's 90% of the financial higher rate, you actually get this kind of visa. So this is why I said countries that you can apply to where they have higher visa approval rate. Belgium, provided you use that block account system, and this is about 12,000 euro. And the school fees are not actually high, it's about 2,000 plus to 4,000 per year. So, and most time they will not even ask you probably to pay the whole school fees from here. It is when you get down there. So they could ask you to pay deposit. Some may even not ask you to pay anything at all, provided you just show the balance of that money together with that living expenses of 12,000 and send it to the schools. The account provided that block account. Once that one comes, you do be rest assured that visa will drop. You could drop. Yeah, you could drop. Then the other one is Netherlands. Number two, Netherlands. The beauty of the Netherlands own is that 80% of this time it is the schools that actually apply for the visa for you. So even if you contact me as an agent, I want to do it. In the process, by the time you get to the visa stage, the school one way or the other take over. How do they do that? Is that the school will provide you with the account for you to pay the tuition fee, the health insurance, the living expenses, whatever amount they tell you, they give you as the estimate, the money to pay. Once you pay it to them, they will take over with will generate the statement, add up the document and apply for your visa. When it's approved, they tell you probably where to go submit and get your maybe your this visa, Schengen visa stamping, you come in. Now, those embassies know the school already will not be presenting them with fake document. The money is waiting for you. They already, your living expenses, your health insurance, all those things. They already know about that. Okay. The fact that they know the school's presenting all those documents and all these things waiting for you, you should be able to just get your approval straight. This pathway, a lot of people are not going to read because of the fact that um, they don't have that kind of money to do the block accounting. So Netherlands, if you want this higher approval rating, Netherlands is another corner. Then the third one here I have on my list is Germany. Everybody knew that for sure. Germany is popular among all of them for the block accounting. Germany is not for the block accounting. Number one, there are many schools served in Germany that are tuition free. You are not to pay tuition provided you can write the 12 exam, TOE, something maybe the school is asking for IELTS. They don't mostly use IELTS, they use the other English proficiency exam body. Some of them, provided you can do that and you get your admission. There are many schools, public schools in Germany that are tuition free. But where the challenge is, why people are not actually looking at Germany is one, if I put Nigerians as a case study here, there is difficulties in getting appointment for you to go do your legalization, visa submissions, and everything. In fact, from now to next year, like no date for appointment. So it's difficult. You can't get an appointment for this your legalization thing and document and visa submission. That's one big area why people are not looking to there. And the major second challenge is that block account. Everybody know Germany for that is block account. That your even if the school is free, the school will provide the account for you to send the living expenses there. These are almost around same 12,000 or so euro where you have to send to the school. So if you can go to the extent of providing that living expenses and then you should be rest assured that that visa you will get, and once so far you can get an appointment to go for your visa submission. That I will do a videos about those of you that will benefit from coming to study in Malta, maybe undergraduate, and then after that, because there are so many opportunities. We will talk about that video, the things, how to exploit the opportunities Malta can give you, provide you with. Then the other one, number four, is Norway. Norway for me here, we all know. Me here too is the same thing. Before now, I think they started this new system. Is it early this year or it was? I think they introduced it early this year or something towards late last year, early this year. Norway also used to. There are some schools, a lot of schools too in Norway used to be tuition free from international students. Then all of a sudden they announced the introductions of fees now for international students. I've not really done much research to know how much it is you can pay, you would have to pay now as an international student. But I know they've changed from what it used to be that tuition free thing. Then most time it is something percent to 90%. It is something percent to 90% of the school students in Norway use the block account as well. All right. They use the block account. And the living expenses then wasn't that based, okay, that was based on exchange rates. That was based on exchange rate. Back then, we were checking where people were saying if you have 5 million, 6 million, put in the block account. But now I think it was based on exchange rates. They are almost both similar. All these EU countries and the Scandinavians that are part of the EUs, they kind of try to introduce some similar systems in their ways of doing things concerning third country nationals, TCN. So the Norways to its block accounts, popularly known for block accounts, except very few, if not one or two schools that may want to consider your bank statement from Nigeria, but no, it's block account. So if you use the block account system of Norway to be rest assured that a visa will be approved. Then the last one I'll mention here is Canada. People will be like, Kilo so what is this saying? Canada? Who knows Canada is crazy that refuse visa? You don't even know. But a lot of us do not actually know, or we forget the fact that Canada has an express system in educational pathway. I'm not talking about express entry now. Please note, if you want me to discuss like in details different pathways in Canada, like the PR pathway, there is what is called express entry system, where you use cumulative system scores, CR scores, cumulative system, the CR scores system. That PR, I'm not talking about express entry pathway. Mm-mm. I'm talking about there is express systems in terms of student visa applications, student visa to Canada. There's one they called, I think is the international student stream. Those one involves major other countries. I don't know if I can get the list of them I mentioned, but I know like those Brazil, all those countries. What they just have to show is a proof of 10,000 Canadian dollars then. That was before they changed these living expenses, when living expenses was still 10K. The Nigerian was pegged at 30,000 Canadian dollars. There's what they call Nigerian Student Express. I think it's Nigerian Student Express. If I'm not mistaken, I will put that on this. This pathway is like express student visa application, except probably now that they're going through a lot of stuff. They are popular in the media with trying to curb the inflows of immigration, the heat on them, all this stuff. But on the websites of the country, you will see the Nigerian student stream. Why most of these professors in Nigerians that are part of all this were trying to come up with protests to say why are they treating Nigerian different, then that would have caused something, was because students where zone was 30,000 Canadian dollars. What you see, if you do that kind of pathway, what you get is your visa approval, student visa approval can come in within 18 to 21 days. Basically, we say 21 days. Some people even get it within 14 days sharp. Now, the condition to that is how to meet up with that requirement is that your living expenses then would be in your account consistently in a period of 6 months in a 1 year statement of account. When they were using 30,000 euro, 30,000 Canadian dollars for Nigerians then. Once you get the admission, the ways to qualify to meet up with this one is that once you get the admission, you don't need IELTS doing while you're applying for student for the admission to the school. But once you get the admission, you pay your school fees, 1 year school fees. If you pay your 1 year school fees, then you write IELTS during the visa stage to submit to the immigration to see. IELTS, I think, is a minimum CLB 6. You get the CLB 6. And it might not only specifically based just on academic. You could probably use, no, I think it's the academic one. You could use the academic. You can't use the general, so if I'm not sure. The academic, then you would do that IELTS, and your living expenses for that 1 year would have to be in the statement of account for 6 straight months in a 1 year statement of account. You get it? Let's say the money has been in the account from January to February, June, and you print a statement of account out of January to December, or the money started from June to December when you print a statement of account out from January to December. So the money will be sitting in your account 6 consecutive months for in a 1 year statement of account. That is Nigeria Student Express. And if you now want to present the statement of account, you are not to present it to them by yourself. You do not have to print out the statement and send to the immigration yourself. No, you would go to, and there are some qualifying banks that are among the banks that are in First Bank, I think GB, all these popular top 5 or so. What they have to do is for them to send the statement of account directly from the bank to IRCC website direct, and generate a ticket. It is the ticket that the IRCC will use to access the money directly from the one the bank sent to them directly. Not you go to the bank, print out a statement, go and upload on your portal. Don't upload the statement on your portal. They will send it straight to IRCC from your bank, and the IRCC will assess it and see that truly the money has been in the account for 6 consecutive months. If you follow that condition, you pay your school fees for 1 year and all that, your visa would be out in just within 21 days. You will get your visa approval, and that rate is high. You are more sure of getting visa approval when you go through that means, except for the fact that Canada start looking at financial capacity, not proof of fund. People need to understand the two difference between the financial capacity Canada is that the you don't need to just put lot money in the account and expect them to be convinced. They want to see what are you doing to even be having that kind of money. You cannot be a 40, 50,000 salary earner and there's 35 million in your account. The 35 million in your account is proof of fund, but it does not mean financial capacity. How does a 45,000 monthly earner get 35 million? So you now need to prove that aspect. That's except that. But people that can leave the money for 6 months straight up, it is no longer a lump sum. It means that money is actually readily available. All you just have to do is to defend probably how that money came about. Maybe you guys sold for things, or there are some investment that was liquidated, or you people have businesses that generate this money. So what should you do this one? Now, in another way to quickly buttress this, to add to it, where people can then defend this means of this financial capacity to really convince Canada to get it. Sometimes now people start using indirect Nigerian student express. Now me give them indirect, nothing like that. Okay. The what I mean by indirect is that you can do something that looks similar to this direct Nigerian student streams and that still do not be exactly the way the requirement of that Nigerian students is, and you will still get your visa within 21 days and you'll be like you do something similar. Let me explain what I mean here. What I mean is that I mentioned that you need to pay your school fees for 1 year. The money has to be in your account. Now, definitely the living expenses has changed since their living expenses growth changed from 10,000 to 20,000 general. That means Nigerian system will probably will change. It might not still be that 30,000. But how people do this kind of system is this. If you don't want to go through that one, well, you have to leave the money in the account 6 months in a 1 year statement of account, let the bank send it to them directly, and then you write IELTS, and then you pay school fees for it. If you don't want to go through that means, there is the one I use my language to say in direct stream, and it has worked for a lot of people that we did that for the tried for. You don't need to write IELTS. Don't worry, that is optional. You will not write IELTS during the visa submission. All you just have to do is you pay your school fees for 1 year, then open an account in Canada, send that your living expenses to the account in Canada. That money should leave from your name. If you are the one that is applying for visa, the money should leave from your account that matches your name with the name of the account you open in that of Canada. So they will not say somebody is defrauding you or you are playing some kind of fraudulent game. So you will be the one to transfer the money from your account here in Nigeria to that account in Nigeria. And then the bank will now give you a document called GIC, Guarantee Investment Certificate. With that GIC, that's what you will now use to apply as the proof of fund. Attach the GIC to the statement. So you pay your school fees for 1 year, you now upload the GIC as your proof of fund. So note one thing, there's no need or reason for the Canadian government to start doubting whether this money you have it or not. How come you say you have 20,000 equivalent of Canadian dollar, your living expenses for 1 year in your account? What did you do to get this? There's no need now again to now start that whether that money is real or fake, because the money is even already there waiting for you in Canada, seated. And the bank that gave you the GIC, they are regulated, reputable bank that has their reputation that they want to. The Canadian banks that give you the GIC cannot give you a fake document. In fact, it's easy for them, for the immigration officer to just put a call through and confirm from the bank that give you the GIC. So that GIC straight up, no need to now that this person no them. You don't already sure your money is waiting for you. What does that mean? That means this system now indirectly connote with the block account you do in this European country. Simply put, it's indirect block account style in Canada. The GIC, your living expenses for 1 year, 20,000 plus Canadian dollars, and you pay your school fees for 1 year. Don't worry, don't write IELTS. Apply for your visa. You might get that your visa within 21 days, regardless of the heat and all that. We will take our time to start talking about different things, easiest way, pathway to Canada, and I will start focusing on how to do it, and I will elaborate more on this. But until then, Thank you for watching, and let me stop here because I know it's long already. I appreciate you guys watch up to this moment. Until we meet in my next video, I'll say bye for now.